Kelsey, the chick that you just talked to on Facebook or whatever, she's coming over with her husband. She's a phenomenal photographer, but she doesn't take any weddings. God, when do haunted houses start? September?
Yeah, usually.
Okay, so she does them at the Bellevue Berry Farm.
Okay.
She has, like, she's 2 or 3 different clowns that she does. Like, Pennywise is like... Well, I don't need to remind you what happened last year when we were going to go see it, but she is coming over, and she's bringing her, like, her scary clown makeup because she knows that, like, I do makeup, and I love makeup, but she fucking freaks me out when she does. I mean, she's really good at it. Like, she has... Oh, God, what is it? What are her clown names? I can't remember. But like
John Wayne Gacy.
David Koresh. What? Tommy Harding. What? She has one clown that doesn't freak me out as much. Like it's just. But then the one where
Donald Trump. Not as much, but still.
But when she puts her chin thing on and stuff, it fucking freaks me out.
Oh, the chin. Now you're talking...
Yeah, and she like...
He's awesome.
Somehow she fucking jacked into my phone, and so every time she calls me now, the scary clown picture... I just don't do well with clowns.
Yeah, well, you probably saved that yourself and forgot.
Probably. Anyways, so what are we doing?
This is part 2. We already did part 1. It was in your studio. And fucking
right.
Everybody loves it already. And
I know.
Right now, we're just out here fucking around. We ate pizza.
They're blowing up my like Facebook thing, and I'm just thinking, like, gosh, they're just being nice.
Plug it again for this one. Very Beautiful Designs.
Very Beautiful Design is the business. If you want to check it out on Facebook, it's just Very Beautiful. If you want to see my website, verybeautifulmakeup.com, no spaces, verybeautifulmakeup.com, and then Instagram is Very Beautiful Design.
Very good. And this podcast, ladies and gentlemen, is episode 4, part 2, or part 5. Episode 5, actually.
However you want to look at it.
And we're just here fucking around. So if you're into some comedy and just some bullshit, tune in. And
how many years have we been bullshitting without the video camera? How many years have we sat around this table? Gosh, at least.
Too many without the video camera.
Yeah. I mean, my goodness gracious. Not even this table, even at Larry and Linda's house.
That's true. And that's back when you introduced me to your ex-husband, Aaron.
Yes, folks. He has been through 2 weddings.
2 weddings. Actually, 1 wedding. I wasn't there for...
You weren't physically there for that wedding, but you were there for the wedding.
Yeah, when I got back in touch with my current wife, you were already married to Aaron, which... You mind saying the full name and the relationship?
Aaron Wayne Taylor.
Former Nebraska Cornhusker, 2-time All-American, Outland Trophy winner.
And now, what do you call them? College Hall of Fame.
He's going to be inducted. Aaron Taylor's going to be inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame. And that's for all colleges, not just Nebraska.
And the only reason we're discussing this is because Aaron and I have a child together. So
yeah, and I think one of the main reasons is because Aaron was a part of 3 national championships, 4 consecutive conference championships. I believe he only lost 2 games his entire college career, and he was a first-team All-American at 2 different positions. And I believe he's the only person in college football history to ever do that. I might be wrong.
I think you're right, but I think it bears knowing that when he was finishing high school and looking at recruits, or people were coming and talking to him, everybody said he wouldn't make it because he was too short.
Bullshit.
Because he was only 6'1".
Fuck that.
But God bless Milt Tenneper, who is no longer with us. Bless his soul. I had the opportunity to get to know him as a person, and I will say that I have never met anybody like Milt. Milt came to Texas, Wichita Falls, and recruited Aaron and said, I don't see anything wrong with your height.
Well,
And now you have somebody who, like you, I don't even know. I don't know football. I don't care about football. I don't even watch it, which you'll hear stories about later. Aaron was worth the trip to Wichita Falls for Nebraska.
yeah, absolutely. I believe he's a 3-year starter. 3-time All-Conference, 2-time first-team All-American. 1 year at center, 1 year at guard.
Oh yeah, he did win. Yeah, I remember that because I didn't understand why we had 2 awards in our house for the
This
same thing.
might be, some of this is incorrect, but you get the gist. He was a damn good blocker, and you were not going to fuck with him.
He may not have been the best husband, but
I'll
probably one of the best college football players out there.
Yeah, and when I got back in touch with my current wife, you and Aaron were still married, and I got the pleasure of talking to him a couple times, and I really enjoyed talking football with him, just casually. I wasn't trying to sit there and interview him, but I remember one of the most amazing things that, one of the most amazing questions that I asked him, I think it was on Facebook or something too. It wasn't even face to face, but because he played in the NFL.
Yep.
Also.
Bears and the Colts.
And so I asked him, I was like, so man, you played high school football in Texas, you played college football in Nebraska, you played in the NFL. I said, who was the toughest person you ever faced? His answer was Jason Peter in practice at Nebraska.
Who I love. Jason, I love you. If you ever watch this someday.
And that's the most honest answer. I was like, damn, that's amazing. And then since then, and I plugged this on the number 2 podcast I did with Dan.
With Dan, yeah.
Jason Peters' book, Hero of the Underground. Phenomenal book. Read it.
It's a page turner. I can't put it down.
I couldn't. It's the fastest book I've ever read.
Funny story. So
I met Jason. You know all these guys.
I've spent some time with Jason. And when I was teaching, and when Aaron and I were in North Platte, I was teaching at North Platte Public High School, go Bulldogs. There was quite the prescription drug ring, I should say. And our principal had asked me if there was ever a possibility that I could have Jason Peters come speak to the school.
Absolutely.
So it just took a phone call, a couple of emails.
I got to check the score of the Patriots.
And
keep going.
So
Carve somebody off.
Long story short, Jason agreed. He agreed to drive out a couple hours from Lincoln to come and speak to the school. And he came in to my classroom and he had a little candid interview with the kids. And then we were backstage in our auditorium waiting for him to go on, and he is talking to me like a sailor. And I hope most of you know what that means. Do you know what that means when I say sailor?
I'm sure he was.
Like, I curse, like...
I say fuck a lot.
I do too. Like, I curse all the time. And I believe it's because I'm an honest person, because I did read an article about that. It said people who curse are the most honest people that you will know.
I've seen many articles like that.
And I swear because I care. And Jason and I, like, the minute that we met, I don't even know when it was, but the minute that we met, we were just like buddies. Like, we just got each other, we just clicked. And he used to tell Erin, like, well, she's the better looking half, so I'm going to talk to her. And we're standing, like, he's literally, like, within Mike's, like, the mic could hear what he's saying. And we're talking about some other football players, and he's saying some pretty nasty things. And I look at him, and I'm like, this has to be PG. And he looked at me, and, like, the color drained from his face. And he was like, oh, I didn't even think about that. And I'm like, you are talking to freshmen, sophomore, junior, seniors. Like, you cannot talk like you and Aaron and I are at a bar. Like, that is not how this works. And he's like, I don't know if I can do this. And I'm like, just pretend you're getting paid.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, I think I can do this. And then he steps out on stage, and like everybody, like,
I'm sure he nailed it.
oh, nailed it. Like, he did such a great job. But when he came off the stage, yeah, I don't think I heard a non-cuss word for 5 minutes. It was hilarious. Like, he is such a good person. But not just him, like his whole family is.
Yeah, well, they'll beat the fuck out of you, but they're nice people.
They're pretty good people to have on your side, though.
Definitely. Oh,
like,
fuck yeah. I can't think of another family. I can think of a few families, but definitely that one.
And I think about Penelope as a little girl, and I just like, oh gosh, I feel so bad for the boy that day comes to her door. Because he doesn't look like it. He's so thin. He's so thin, and I mean, he just doesn't even look like the same guy that played. But
yeah, I mean, when he did his radio show, and you know, years later and all that, I remember looking pictures up him online, and it's like, man, he really doesn't look like the same person. He's older and a lot thinner, but I mean, shit, back then, man, he had to be huge. He played defensive line.
They all were. They all
fucking
were
enormous. He was strong as hell.
I used to love it. Like, I'd stand behind Aaron and you couldn't see me. I just love that. But you know what? I can do that now, and you really can't see me because he's just big now.
Man, yeah. And you had a funny Tommy Frazier story too. The sandwich or something. What the hell was that? Tell that.
You have to understand, like, I don't know football. Like, I didn't watch football. I never watched football, which is bad because I live in Nebraska. But I'm a figure skater, so.
You know the Tanya Harding story.
I do, actually.
We'll get to that later.
I grew up with hockey players. Like, my first legitimate boyfriend was from Russia. He was a hockey player.
Vladimir Konstantin.
Yeah. Alex Schindelman, I still love him to this day. Like, he was phenomenal. Like, but that was the world that I knew. Like, I knew, like, hockey. And, like, my dream was to marry, like, Mike Madonna, who played for the Dallas Stars. Like, I was in love with him.
I love hockey.
I love hockey. Well, yeah. Like, we've all done hockey.
Yes.
I love hockey games. So.
It's so much fun in person.
Yeah.
I think that ice hockey is the biggest contrast from boring as hell at home on the TV to
like the best thing you could watch live
amazing in person.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
yeah.
And I could do either way with college football.
And I grew up skating at like USHL games where like fighting was cool, like you wanted to fight. Like there were Golden Glove boxers on these hockey teams. And then Brendan Walsh played for the Omaha Lancers. He was like a multiple Golden Glove winner. And like you just waited for the fucking third period because he just fucking let loose, dude. Like it was phenomenal.
Yeah.
But then you go to like, that was when UNO started like my first year of college, they had their inaugural hockey team. And you couldn't fight in collegiate hockey. And so like sucked. So then you realize, like after a couple games, you realize like Friday nights were fun, but then Saturday nights were the games you wanted to go to because our team went after the jackasses that went after our players on Friday night. So hockey is fun because it's just there's no script. Like it just,
fuck no.
Yeah, like it's phenomenal.
Just like my podcast, we're doing whatever.
I know.
We need to get back to the Tommy Frazier story.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah.
What does it say about the fighting? I think I said this on Dan's podcast that I had. I love Ty Doney, played for the Toronto Maple Leafs, because he beat the shit out of a fan in a penalty box one time.
That's wonderful. I mean, no, I feel bad for that man.
Well, he deserved it because he was leaning over, kind of talking shit, and the plexiglass caved in, and he fell in, and Ty Doney just started punching him in the face. You can find that on YouTube too.
We're gonna do something that we've probably not done on this here.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome. But yeah, man. And I still have.
Oh shit! Look at who did I just hit? I didn't mean to hit that.
There you go, Tommy Frazier Jr.
I don't think he'll answer, but I want to
Florida.
see if he answers. He probably won't because he doesn't know this number.
You gonna try to get him on air?
Yeah.
You gotta turn it on audio. Turn
I
that
don't
shit
think
up.
he'll answer. I haven't told him I got a new number. Maybe I did.
I don't even have a new number. That says Tom Kowal.
Yeah, he played here for the Lancers. And now he's a hockey coach.
Ah, nice.
You probably want to answer because I don't know his number.
And for something like this, I should probably have the studio mic coming out that comes right here on the table.
Do you have a studio mic with that?
No, I don't
You
yet.
reached Tom Cole with the Wilkes-Barre Second Nights. Please leave a message, and I will get back to you.
At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hey TK, it's peaches. Oh no, wait, apples. I can't remember. Apples, I think, is what I answer to when you call.
Some fruit.
I'm doing a podcast, actually a video cast / podcast right now, and we are talking about hockey. And I thought it would be cool to have a hockey coach on this podcast. So if you pick this up, give me a ring back. Love you. Bye. TK played for the Lancers for like 4 years.
Okay.
5 years, and
for
then
those of you who don't know, the Lancers are IHL?
USHL.
USHL. Okay. In La Vista, Nebraska.
Well, they weren't. They used to be Omaha. They played at Exarban.
Oh, they played.
They played at Exarban, and then
Now
they
they
went to
play-
the MAC,
Okay.
and now they play at Ralston.
Now they play at Ralston. Right. Ralston, not La Vista. Damn it. All these damn suburbs. Anyways. So yeah, we almost got a hockey coach on the phone. And here to think, I was thinking you were really calling Tommy Frazier.
Oh shit, that's who I pulled up first. I don't know if he would answer, because he doesn't know my new number.
Well, you never know. It's almost 10 o'clock on a Saturday night.
TK, Tom Kowal, anybody that's from Omaha and was a Lancer fan, or a UNO hockey fan, will know Tom Kowal. He is from Anchorage, Alaska.
Oh, fuck. This is warm compared to where he's from. And it's 12 outside.
Yeah.
No, probably cold.
But anyway, so back to Frazier.
Yeah, sandwich.
So I hadn't been dating Aaron very long, and so we had to go to what's his name? I can't think of his name, but it was a juvenile diabetes fundraiser,
Okay.
and he's an older Husker, and
Okay.
we're sitting at this big table, and there are several other prominent Huskers around this table, and this man sits down next to me, and we just start talking, like having the best time, like laughing and talking, and like people watching, making fun of people, like
Sure.
2 or 3 Jack and Cokes later, like they start announcing like Husker players, and I'm like expecting like Aaron to get called, and and Matt and Monty and like all these guys that are sitting at the table to get called, and they yell like, or they say like Tommy Frazier, and he puts his drink down. I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah. He's like, I'm Tommy Frazier. Like, you didn't know who that is? I'm like, no. And I'm like, seriously? And he's like, yeah. Like, he's like, I played for the Huskers. And I'm like, no, you didn't. Like, seriously? And he's like, yeah, I did. And I'm like, what did you play? And he's like, quarterback. And I'm like, seriously? Like, really? And I turn and I look, and Aaron and Matt Hoskinson and Monte Cristo they're fucking like red as a cherry in their fucking faces, like holding their breath so they don't laugh at me.
Well, why did they think that though? You left that line out.
Cause I had no fucking clue who he was, and I'm like, you're black and you play quarterback? Like,
That was
what
it.
is that?
That was it. How are you black and
And he's just like, I love you. Like that, like, and his wife, like, God love Andrea, like, love her. She's just looking at me like, you're the coolest chick I've ever known, because you have no fucking clue who these people are, and I have no clue who they are.
Yeah, and it's like, not only that, I'm one of the greatest. He's one of the greatest fucking college quarterbacks ever.
Which I just asked you like 2 hours ago. I'm like, is that true?
I thought that was hilarious. You're like, he's black and he's a quarterback? I'm like,
I didn't know.
not only that, but fucking nobody was better than him.
Gosh, and he and I just get in trouble. Like, Aaron just hated fucking, like, Husker events and shit, because, like, we'd be on, like, the sidelines, and, like, I just don't like football because I think it's fucking boring. And I'd be like, okay, I cannot, like, Herbie's okay. Like, I tolerate Herbie. Like, he is fine, and I think...
fucking mascot.
I think that is all the fucking college needs. Like, that little red thing, fuck him. Like, he is fucking freaky. Like, there at some point is going to be some sort of, like, horror flick that comes out, and it's going to be one of those fucking blow-up people. Like, that is not normal. And that little red dude fucking freaks me out. And so, like, when I spent a couple years on those sidelines. Like, I got to do the tunnel walk. Like, I was never tall enough unless I was wearing heels, with which he would, like, make fun of me. Because, like, who wears heels to a football game? But, like, I do. And...
should have put cleats on him.
Like, I would watch that little fucker, like, around the stadium. Like, I don't like him. Like, he scares me. And so, like, I think it was Osborne. He kind of left the stadium, not left the stadium, but left the stands at halftime, like, and fans were leaving at halftime. It was a really big game, but, like, I kept watching the stands. Like, my back was to the field. And several times I get this. The game is that way. The game is that way. But I just didn't care because, like, I like to watch people. Like, I like to watch that. Yeah. Little Red is not normal. I don't care who you are. That is not normal.
Yeah.
And I almost got tackled because we were like the reporters are like here, and then we're standing like not too far from them. But the players, like, they don't stop. Like, even though there's like lines painted, like, they just keep going. I don't like it. So I almost got tackled a couple times.
Yeah, well, you know, it happens.
Oh,
Somebody's home.
who's here?
I don't know. Who's here?
We're
Hey.
recording. Who's here?
If the dog's going to find out who's here. I think that's hilarious, though. You're on the sidelines of a Husker game. You're not even watching the damn
Nope.
thing.
Could care less.
Well, they wanted you to pay attention, so if a pass got thrown out of bounds, you didn't get hit in the head and knocked out.
Yeah, I almost got tackled
Kickoff,
twice.
punt, something like that. Yeah. Plus, they didn't want to mistake you for security, who was watching to make sure a fight wasn't breaking out.
Yeah, I don't think I look like security.
You never know.
I just wasn't really good at focusing on things like that.
Yeah.
But here's the fucked up part, is I can watch golf.
Oh, here's the funny part. You can watch golf.
Like, that's the fucked up part, is like, I can watch golf.
Live or on TV?
Both.
Well, so can I, because I just think golf courses are beautiful.
Yeah, but I watch the Masters like nobody's business. 'Cause
Well, the
it's beautiful.
Masters I love because that is
It's gorgeous.
the pristine course in the
You know that
world.
David, my brother, he can rent his house out, and he can make thousands and thousands of dollars on that weekend.
I bet.
Mm-hmm. It's nuts. Everybody's coming back.
Hey,
How you doing?
good. How are you?
Kelsey and Sean are coming over too.
Yeah. My wife had to run one of the kids home. He got sick.
She's
So,
diabetic,
They'll be back.
so they'll be back.
We're just doing a video cast, man. We're just chilling.
Yeah, if you want to pop in and like wave, you can.
Yeah.
Come stand like right here.
Sit right here, man.
Sit down. Can he see if you
Hi.
sit down
Yeah,
there?
I think this chair right here is in view, and that one probably over there is too. So wherever. That's
Have
still
a
going,
seat.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna change.
What?
How far are we? 20 minutes in?
23.
Nice.
I think I sent you a recording of
We've already
everything.
doubled our
Yes, I
first podcast.
Yeah.
There we go.
We've already done one.
Whether you consider
This is
this
the second one?
well, we did one in the studio talking about the makeup business, and whether you consider this one episode 4, part 2, or
Or
episode
episode
5,
five.
which I'll probably list as both on.
I think that's probably wise.
Gives a shit. This one's just a fuck off. So
Yep.
we're just sitting here bullshitting, talking about football, and
Stupid
all
stories.
kinds of nonsense that nobody cares about. But that's
Don't
why.
get us more.
That's why it's so awesome, because it's not an interview, it's a hang.
There you go.
So yeah,
Cool.
we're just having a good time.
But we're both low on drinks, and then we don't have to stop the camera.
True.
Leave it in the fridge.
Yeah.
And then
yeah.
Patriots still winning?
Yes.
Yeah.
What's the score?
28-7.
Thanks,
All
babe.
right, that's what it was earlier, and the Philadelphia Eagles won, which I saw, it was some line. The Eagles have the best record in the NFL, so they have home field advantage throughout playoffs.
That's the team that, what's his face, the underwear model dude. Uh-oh, we got a hockey coach. Do you want to get your microphone?
I don't have it, so you'll just have to, like...
What's up,
Yeah,
TK?
What are you guys doing?
We're video casting.
Video casting? Who's we?
It's my friend Noelle's husband, Paul. Say hi, Tom.
Hey, Tom, this is Paul Heydrich. How are you?
Hello.
And me.
You're video casting.
Yeah, well, we're kind of talking about a bunch of different things because Aaron was inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame and all that kind of crap.
Like crap.
Yeah. Well, because you know that you're more important to me than he is. So. You laugh, though. That makes me sad. Like, you don't know you're...
Are you kidding me? Be quiet.
I love you more than him. You know that.
I do know that.
And you love me just as much.
Try to turn the microphone towards...
You do, yay.
Try to turn the microphone towards the
Sure.
mic.
Oh, I'm like, I don't think he knows this number. Like, I had to get a
I
new...
do. I'm on a bus going home from Philadelphia. We just had a game.
Did you win?
No, we lost.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So I was talking to my owner.
And how's he?
He's doing all right.
He's doing all right?
Yeah, and then I was talking to just a friend of mine that is in, her son is a junior in high school,
Yeah.
and he's an unbelievable baseball player. He's getting recruited by Bucknell University, which is like an hour and 20 minutes from my house, which is unbelievable academic, but unbelievable baseball.
Oh, really?
Well, they're down on a visit right now, so it's fun. So I'm actually going to drive down tomorrow and watch them work out with the baseball coaches and hang out with them and have lunch and dinner and then come home. So,
What town is it? Wait,
well, Williamsport, they have a little league World Series.
yeah. I've been to Williamsport. I know where that is. Cool.
And I have another friend over here.
You need to tell your owner, I need a break. You need to tell your owner to fly me back for a little while.
Why don't you fly down? Why
Bye.
does my owner have to fly me down? If I tell
Oh, you are old to work. I was like,
my
what the
owner,
fuck's
I'm
wrong with
flying up there, you want me down here, you can
The
fly
girls are just trying to feel
Tell him you're flying, just tell him you're flying your girlfriend out.
You're not gonna get a tip. Well, yeah, well, tell him
I
bring
just
that
want to
girlfriend.
Sorry, we had to do an exit stage left for a little bit.
I'll take it off.
Your girlfriend's a married woman?
Hey, Saul, I'm fresh.
That's all you have to say. It's a long story.
Yeah.
She wears that so she doesn't get harassed.
Absolutely.
I need a little bit of a break. I need a skate partner. I need a break. All right. So where do I fly into?
Well, in Philadelphia, Wilkes-Barre, or Newark.
Wilkes-Barre's got an airport. Thanks, honey.
It's both called
That's too damn cold.
Is an apple, is a Victor, is a Paul.
Alright.
Newark's
I
too
might
cold.
surprise you and say pick me up at this time.
Well, they'll probably give me a couple hour notice.
Yeah.
Well, duh.
So I need my chauffeur to pick you up
Oh, I have a chauffeur?
with a bottle of champagne and me waiting for you.
So is it gonna be the player that you're mad at that has to pick me up?
Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You think I'd put that
What
in
was the thing that I guys did?
No.
I know.
You would
sorry
not.
guys were
I know
so
you wouldn't.
ill.
your fucking way?
No, but
Every
I
day
need
is
some
different,
TK
but for the
time.
most part, yeah.
Well, get your butt down here, let's go.
I will. Like, I mean, it might have to be during the week.
We're going to the casino, to the spa and everything.
That would be lovely.
Yeah, seriously.
Julia.
You know that.
I know you would. You would take care of me in a heartbeat.
She's not doing anything.
Your husband might hate you by the time you get back home, but that's okay.
He wouldn't.
I'm just thinking for your life.
He knows. He knows.
Are you
Did you say hi to
FaceTiming
Saul at all?
Well, Mom finished chemo. Yeah, and she's doing really, really well.
Say hi.
Good for her.
And, you know, they're living life, traveling. Like, I swear to God, they're busier than anybody I
Go
know.
say hi and then go downstairs and watch them.
I'm just like,
This is my dad. This is my friend.
I know. And I'm like, you guys guys,
See
my
you
dad
later.
is
Goodbye.
78
All right,
years old,
see you later.
79, and my mom is
Hey,
76,
dear.
and I'm just
I'll
like,
watch a movie.
stop fucking traveling. I'm tired of taking care of your house.
You stole my spot.
Because they have that freaking mansion on Tiburon. It's ridiculous.
Oh my lord.
I know, right? Like you gotta come stay at their house, and then you can just take care of it. And I don't gotta do it.
Okay.
Yeah, we're live, so if you
Tell
want
them
to
to
come
figure out when
see.
they're gonna be down this summer and I'll come house sit for them.
Okay, I'll tell them that TK's house sitting. They would be all over that.
You gotta have the girls lined up though.
I'll work on getting girls lined up. Cause I see bridesmaids every weekend, so I can do it.
I know, I've been doing that for 2 years now.
Oh my God, did you see? I won an award. I'm in the top 5% of makeup artists in the country.
Sure, that's awesome.
I know, right? Like, who thought that I could paint faces that well?
I did.
Oh. Cause you're so wonderful.
All the places you can go.
Isn't it like a Dr. Seuss book? The places
How's
you...
your daughter doing?
Oh, she's fucking feisty.
Is she?
Oh my-
Look at her mom.
Sorry, Mom.
She, like, I'm just like, put a sock in it. Like, who put a quarter in you? Stop.
Her aunt.
Do I need to speak to her about what you were like back in
No,
the day?
no,
Yeah, exactly.
no. She never wants to go with Aaron on the weekends. And like, so now her thing is she'll walk out the front door and stand at our steps and look at him and say, I'm not going.
Oh my lord, that's sad. That's sad.
It is. But then she gets in the truck and like, she's happy to go. So I'm just like,
I know, but
enough of the dramatics. Like, just get in the fucking car.
that's sad in general. I mean, like,
You know what though? Like, you know what? He weaved his web, and like, yeah, like, I think that she's pretty fucking smart. I think she's a pretty smart girl.
Yeah, so anyways, if you can get him on the podcast sometime, that'd be great.
Hey, so Paulie, my friend's husband, wants to have you on a podcast.
oh, you know, what's your podcast?
It's on YouTube. It's called Ordinary People. I have 4 episodes up so far. I'm just just hanging out with just everybody. And I'm just trying to get guests. And
Okay, so how do I do that?
Becky will set it up.
Do you realize who you're talking to? I've known Becky for a while. She can't set up her own bedtime.
Unless you're involved. If you're involved, it's pretty well set.
That's why I have to set it.
Because he'll be like, fucking lay down. Stop fucking talking.
I mean, let me know what to do. I mean, I'm all about hanging out.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Becky, we'll get the details. Give me the details later.
Yeah,
I can't do anything right now. I'm on the bus.
yeah, it's fine.
We'll set up a time or something. I'd be more than happy to help out.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, we're live right now, so yeah.
I'm with my kids right now, so
Cool.
we're lost.
Oh my God, it's so funny to hear you say my kids.
Yeah. Coaching hockey is the best work info you could ever do.
I can't even imagine. Oh. Well, if you ended up with me, we couldn't have kids anyway, so you would just have your hockey kids.
Yeah, for sure.
But I bet I could rip those hockey kids into shape, man. I could do a couple speed classes with them.
What are you thinking I can't?
I'm thinking if you put me on the ice with you and we were teaching a speed class, they would fucking be throwing up.
You'd be throwing up.
Maybe.
That's what you do a workout.
Yeah, probably.
I just sit there and blow the whistle and go.
Yeah, that's what you do, and you do well at it.
But no, definitely, give me the details, Sharon. I mean, like, let's catch up this week. Give me a call and let me know what I need doing.
Are you, when are you available during the day? Because tomorrow you're going to be busy with baseball
Tomorrow,
stuff.
and then during the week, I practice 10, like Eastern time,
Okay.
10:30 to 12:30. So I'm pretty much not available from.
It would be like 9:30 to 11:30 here.
Okay, which is what time is it there right now?
Right now it's 10:07.
Okay,
forgetting that my family is from the East Coast? I'm pretty familiar with East Coast time.
Okay, but 9:30 to 11 your time doesn't work too well for me.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
pretty much when I'm.
do you want me to call you in the afternoon or early morning?
Yeah, like you can call me. Like I'm off the ice at 12:30.
Okay.
So I'm available anytime, like pretty much 12:30 your time.
Okay.
The rest of the day.
All right. Because I really do, like, I kind of need a break, so I would like to come back east, actually.
You can come anytime you want. I told you that.
I know.
But I can't have my owner fly up there like now. Like, come on.
Okay, well, I'll take care of the ticket. You just have to take care of everything
Yeah, I
else.
can't be like, oh yeah, you get down there. I'll just take care of it. I mean, my owner wants to see, we'll go out there and take a stay the night or something. And,
All right.
we'll work it. I'll fucking eat some good meals. And I'll take care of you.
Okay.
But just let me know. Make
Alright.
it happen.
Okay, I'm serious, because I do need a break.
I'm not serious, but you always say this. You just, and then you never do it. So do it.
I know. I know. I just don't want to impose on you, that's all.
Shut up. Alright? I'm gonna smack you.
I know. I love you so much.
Yeah. Alright, sweet. Well, give me a call next week.
Okay, I will. Love you.
Alright, love you too.
Bye.
Bye.
And that is Stone Co-op.
Very cool. I apologize if there was any. I don't know how well that picked up on the mics for the podcast, so I apologize if anybody didn't hear all of that. But that was
Tom Co-op.
the hockey coach.
For the Wilkes-Barre something. It's like, oh my god, he's gonna be so mad because I think the Bears, I don't know. No, wait, it's the Hershey Bears.
You didn't even know Tommy Frazier played quarterback. I doubt he's going to give a fuck.
But he's like an award-winning hockey player. He was really good.
Well, so was Tommy Frazier at quarterback. You didn't know that either.
Maybe that's why.
I just hope everybody's still tuning in after that.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how
Maybe
well.
you should edit that out.
I don't know. We'll listen to it, and I don't know how well the cell phone. I saw it picking up on the volume tab over there, so hopefully the microphones picked all that up. And if so, that's some pretty damn good audio. That's some good. That's some good radio. I mean, that's some good podcast. That's some good shit. I mean, where else are you going to tune into a podcast where you can sit here with an Italian with pink hair in a dining room and talk to a hockey coach on a fucking speakerphone on a cell phone and have it broadcast over YouTube?
Let alone who's on a bus with his team.
Yeah,
after
a
a
bus.
game.
A bus? Don't they fucking fly anymore?
It wasn't very far away.
Ah, well, thank God. I guess all the places up there covered nice anyways. Be able to land a plane. So what else? Holy shit, everybody arrived in the last 10
I
minutes.
know,
and
like
we were on the
Saul
phone,
is
and
here.
Saul got back, my wife got back, I had to take a kid home.
What up, hooker? So Saul got home and then we made him go out to the garage and bring drinks in.
Yeah, he probably hates us now. And
Yeah, he probably thinks that we're like,
And all the drinks in there.
oh, my friend Kelsey is on her way.
He didn't know they were in there, so they're still in there.
What? Oh, you're what?
She brought drinks up and then left, and then Saul didn't know she
Oh,
brought
it was
drinks
still
up,
in
so he
there.
brought drinks up, and now there's more drinks up.
So my friend Kelsey, she's a photographer. She's who I do all those boudoir shoots with. She's coming with her husband Sean, who owns his own cleaning business. He cleans commercially and residential. So recently, as of like Monday, I made my carpet smoke.
You have a real struggle, though.
Oh shit. What did they smoke? Weed?
I wish. But I spilled like nail glue on it, and then it just started smoking, and now it feels like you step on concrete. There's a little bit of like carpet space that it's like concrete. I don't know if that comes out.
I doubt it.
But it made the carpet smoke, so then I got like worried because it's Japanese glue, and I'm like, what the fuck is in this shit?
Sushi.
Yeah, but I didn't try to eat it, so I don't know.
Because you're going to be learning something that you are wanting to
Not
do.
all sushi's edible. Fucking hate sushi. I don't like that.
Is that where it's
Log
just
of
like the
fucking
raw
rice.
fish on the rice?
It's like the log of rice with the fish on top.
I eat that shit all the time.
I like the rolls and the seaweed with the avocados. And
But that stuff is cooked.
not all of it.
Well, most
Some
of
of
it
it's
is.
smoked. Some of it's. I just like it better.
You can't.
Ugh. Sushi is good shit though.
It is. It
You have a
is.
preferred place in Omaha you go to? You like Blue or
I like baby blue.
Baby Blue?
What's
Yeah,
the
she's
good
bored.
slows?
You better get
Okay.
her.
Hutongs on Giles is awesome.
Where's that at?
Oh god damn it.
Look at
72nd.
you! All dressed up?
I believe 72nd and Giles in Omaha. It's catty corner from the Walmart.
Oh, okay.
There's a Makovica
There, physical therapy.
like kind of
God,
across
he's
the
got
road.
like 1, 2, he's got like 3 or 4 of those places.
That's pretty badass. Yeah, I love their sushi. It's really good. Wild Rice in Papillion. That's in the area by the. It's off 370 by. Shadow Lake off 370. 370 and 84th Street. It's really good too. It's not bad. I like making my own sushi too.
You make your own sushi?
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass and it takes fucking ever because I don't do it all the time. But yeah, man, I make some bomb
Where's the
sushi.
third
My
one?
brother
Well,
Mark
screw
does
that.
too.
Like, instead of making our own pizzas, why don't we make our own sushi?
Because we'd have to start like 7 hours ago.
She hung out for a couple
If we
hours.
come with the rice prepared,
How long does that take? Oh, we're gonna have a buddy. Kitty kitty!
Hey, old cat. Well, the thing is, I don't know if you
Hi,
can do that or
Kitty.
not,
I
because
will.
when you cook the rice, you gotta have the jasmine rice, sushi rice, whatever they call it.
There he is.
And then you gotta have the rice vinegar ready.
Yeah.
Because you gotta, when you take it out of the pot when it's hot, you gotta throw it in there and be stirring it around and fanning it while
So
you
like
put
2
the sushi
people
rice
need to
in.
be doing that.
Yeah, because it's gotta cool at a certain pace while the sushi vinegar's in there, and then you get the stickiness that's correct. So I don't know if preparing it ahead of time would work.
I don't think you could. I think you have to make it
liven up.
to when it's like
Works up
ready
the
to
way
serve.
Yeah, so we might have to do that. But then, I mean,
Kind of.
once the rice is ready, then hell yeah, you put
You
a
know
cover
what
over it,
I'm
and then
So
yeah, whatever you want. We've done smoked
mentally checked
salmon,
out already.
cucumber strips,
So,
avocados,
Bentley.
shrimp, crab,
When are you?
cream cheese is awesome. It's a good
middle
filler.
of February.
And then yeah, just cut everything thin and just
I don't know.
line
Out
that
of the
up,
first
roll that
week or the
shit up,
second
and then slice it.
Just because you don't want
And,
to be there anymore?
Yeah,
Just,
it's kind of
I can't.
interesting
So
when some people are introduced to sushi for the first time. They immediately think raw fish. I'm not eating that
so I
shit.
started working
But
with Carson.
fuck, man, there's so much
Carson Lowe.
sushi that's just not raw
So-
fish at all.
No, I
You
know. Like
fuck
California
everywhere.
rolls are cooked.
Yeah, and there's a lot of
Okay,
sushi
so,
rolls that don't
yes, I
have
started working
fucking
there.
fish or meat in them at all.
The week before
And that's
last
really
was-
good shit.
The
So
last week was my first full week
it just kind of depends
there. So
on
I'm
totally doing something.
you know what you're into.
yeah.
So yeah,
It's
anyways,
nice. So I don't
What else?
have.
I mean,
I
you're
don't
out of
talk to
town.
clients anymore.
I can't eat that shit.
My
Too
title
much
is
pasta,
an
too many
operation
carbs,
manager.
too much bread.
So
I know I don't like to eat it
I
either.
do kind of the back end stuff. So
I'm like trying to drop 10 at this point. So
Carson
like
started off as
pasta
like an
bag,
advisor, as an
pizza
advisor
bag,
here in
which
town.
I
And
had
he still
some
has a
pizza
local
earlier.
advisor office with advisors and whatnot.
Yeah, once in a while.
He
I'll
has
do that.
so
But like I
big
love
and so much infrastructure that
I love like that. What is it? Cucumber
for
salad,
lack
where
of
it's like
better
cucumbers
words,
and
he often
onions
turned
and
into a
it's.
franchise.
Hey,
So other
Hello.
advisors across the country can buy into
I love any
his
type of
technology,
salad.
his compliance, all of his back
I know,
office
right?
processes
Bentley.
and stuff. So
Baby.
it's like that's Carson Partners, and that's who I work under. So
What's
I
up,
work
Kat?
But the back, I love like La Festa Italiana. I love like
I haven't heard of it, but yeah,
fries.
he's got a thing there.
Yeah.
And I love like I love wine, and I love
All the
like
shit I love.
But it was Carson Phillips.
I love all of
That's what's on.
Come here, Mama.
Baby.
Come here.
I don't know if that's.
There.
Is it still? Because that's what he originally started off as.
Okay.
No,
How are we doing?
because that was him and another group. That's what they it started off as.
Yeah.
But then they split.
Are they talking too loud?
Dilly dilly.
You sound British.
That's
Who does?
We just
Dilly dilly.
watched a
Yeah.
Budweiser commercial.
That's horse shit.
I know.
Okay, we're gonna start talking about Eric Church because we had one hell of a night at one of those concerts. Shit, when was that? 3 years ago?
Fuck, I don't even
More than that.
God, it was longer than that.
I think at 5.
Yeah, I probably didn't have gray hair. looking at that picture over there on the wall. I didn't.
No, you did not. But
I think
that was a great time.
it must have been more because were we married yet?
Yeah. Yeah, we were.
Okay.
Yeah,
You
that.
assist.
Yeah, that concert was nuts. We went to an Eric Church concert at the fairgrounds somewhere.
River
in-
Ruckus something.
Yeah, somewhere in Iowa. I mean, you drive by all these windmills and fuck, who knows where.
Some sort of like
Then-
River Ruckus festival.
And we ended up in the middle of a cornfield. And then we had drank so much beer before the concert started that the line is so long when we are trying to get in. I have to piss so fucking bad. And there's like 100 porta potties right beside me on the other side of the fence, and I can't fucking get to them until 100 people ahead of me scan their tickets and I get in.
You were white knuckled that whole day.
So, luckily, didn't piss my pants, didn't just whip it out and piss on the ground, got in there.
Chris Laredo. He was the opening act. Yeah,
I
Chris
don't even
Laredo.
remember
I did.
I'd say the funniest shit I ever saw was
The pallets of
Fucking-
beer.
never seen so much beer, man. I mean, you're sitting there trying to walk around and get a good view of the concert
Thanks, honey.
and the stage. Thank you. And my God, there's a semi, and there's bobcats with forklifts bringing pallet after pallet after pallet of shitty beer to all these tents, and they're dumping all the webbed six-packs of tall boys into the blue 55-gallon barrels of ice water. And what's the point?
Oh shit.
What's the point? Because they're getting fucking sold in 5 seconds anyways.
They were selling them faster than they could unload them.
It's unfreaking real. And then a
And
semi
then remember
back
thunder and
out.
lightning, and it like kind of
Yeah.
rained.
Yeah, it rained. And then like a semi would back out, fucking another one would pull up. It's like, how many more times is this gonna fucking
It was
go on?
phenomenal.
It's so insane.
And then we didn't get pizza. Didn't we like walk somewhere and get pizza afterwards?
Well, we
Because we
got,
couldn't find the
yeah,
car.
we got pizza because we eventually got sick of being lost. After the concert was over, we went the wrong way somehow outside of the fairgrounds, and we're like, where the hell's the car? Well, none of us
God, we
remember.
couldn't remember where we parked.
So we're like, well, let's just stop here and get something to eat real quick. That didn't work because they were busier than hell. So what, did we drink another beer or something?
I think we had some more drink.
I don't know what the fuck we did. And then we got out, and I think we walked a complete circle around this goddamn town, and then finally, somehow, found the navigator, and then somehow made it home. I have no fucking
God bless Saul for driving.
Yeah.
Well,
he
she and I
drove.
passed out
Yeah,
because
you-
we were in the
you
captain
got-
seats in the
yeah,
back.
Y'all passed out
And then
because you're girls. And then my job was to try to just come up with goofy shit to try to keep him awake
To drive.
because it was like 2 a.m. That was insane.
Oh God! It was during the Summer Olympics. I remember that because the next day,
It was hotter than fuck.
I don't think we fucking moved off of our couch. Like we just watched the Olympics, and neither one of us could repeat what we'd watched. I'm pretty sure it might have been swimming,
Yeah, I
but
don't
I'm not sure.
even remember that. But it was crazier than hell.
And Saul didn't even like Eric Church. Like, I think he saw him once at like a Wells Fargo concert because it was like fucking free. Like he got into it for free, so he's like, oh, it's not too bad. But I'm like, you're driving 2.5 hours. So 5 hours,
And then
so
we-
that I can, you know, like wet my panties because I'm seeing Eric Church again.
And then we went back last year and saw him again.
Oh, but it was here. Wasn't it fucking phenomenal?
It was louder than hell.
Except for the Uber drive home.
Well, that's only because we told her to go to the burrito store.
Yeah, but those were so
They were
good.
fucking awesome, man.
This is the first time I'd ever had Lina's.
Man, every time we go to a beer fest or a Beertopia or whatever, that's the place that we stop on the way home is Lina's to
Lina's
get
is amazing.
sausage breakfast burritos.
God, they were so good.
It might take them a hell of a long time to make, But at that
It's
point
worth
in
it.
the night,
$5 for something like that? That's
Yeah.
fucking nuts.
at that point in the night, you don't give a shit anymore. So, it's some good shit. Man, I don't even know what the hell.
God, I fucking love Eric Church.
Those were good concerts.
If we say we're listening to Eric Church right now, that's not it's not like a copyright infringement, right? Like if we say
No,
like
you
this
actually, I think you actually have to be playing the music while the podcast is recording.
But if I would put an Eric Church song on and say this is from this album, like whatever, I just want to hear it.
I don't know.
Does that get you in trouble?
It might, because I know when
Yeah, but like maybe getting in trouble like gets you like.
I don't want my account suspended though.
No, do you know what gets your account fucking suspended? Fucking Logan ass Paul. Do you know who that is? Do you know who Jake Paul is? Do you know who Logan Paul is? Okay, so Jake Paul is part of this Team 10 thing. And Jake Paul was like a Disney star, but now he's a YouTube star, and he has this house. It's called the Team 10 house, where like 10 people live there. His older brother, Logan, I can't fucking stand any of them. Like, I have blocked all of them, so Emma cannot watch them. But Logan went to this forest in Japan. Do you know what I'm talking about when I say forest in Japan?
Yeah, the dead person.
The suicide forest.
Yeah.
Okay? He took his fucking YouTube team to that fucking forest and recorded somebody's last minutes. Somebody who hung themselves, and he recorded it. He blocked out the face, but he showed the purple hands.
Yeah,
I ain't fucking done. No, he recorded it. And he says like, I'm so sorry, I shouldn't have done it. Fuck you, that apology is fucking narcissistic. It is not a fucking true apology, because you know what? That fucking piece of shit went home, he fucking edited it. So he fucking rewatched that whole fucking video of somebody's brother, somebody's son, maybe someone's father ending their life. And then he fucking reposted it for his audience. Do you know how old his audience is? 10 to 13.
Yeah, that's nuts.
What a fucking loser. He fucking posts that goddamn video for his fans to see, and then you know what he calls it? A suicide prevention video.
Well,
No, it is not a suicide prevention video.
Doesn't sound like it.
I don't care who you are, how big you are, or what sort of social media bubble you think you're in. That's not okay. And then he posts this apology where he says, me. I. Me. Complete narcissistic apology.
Yeah.
And now, do you know what? YouTube fucking fired him.
Oh, well,
He is done. YouTube cut ties with him. And I hope they fucking cut ties with his brother, fucking Jake Paul, because he is just as fucking bad.
Yeah, well, I didn't know that much about it. It's kind of like Mari Batali doing the apology. And
Yes,
putting
it's the exact same thing.
Putting a recipe on the bottom of the apology. It's just like, what the
So I love Jeffree Star. And I know.
don't know who the fuck that
Okay, well,
is.
he has a cosmetic company.
That's
And
why I
as a
don't know who
makeup
the fuck
artist,
he is either.
well, no, he was a musician, and he traveled worldwide. And when he was younger, he was quite opinionated when it came to racism and different races. And he said some very negative things about other races. And so his start was not that great. Okay, but
Kind of like the beginning to this fucking podcast series.
well,
No,
at
I'm
least
kidding.
you're not like politically like.
We're starting from.
You're a little bit more neutral than he was. He was very, very racist in his comments.
Well, you said successful.
But he now is probably like one of the top tier YouTubers. He has a very successful cosmetic company. He's got a very successful shipping company called Killer Merch. And so a lot of YouTubers use his shipping. He's kind of like on all different levels, but he also has a fabulous YouTube channel, and he is very active, and he's just quite empowering when he's like, nobody can tell you no. Nobody can tell you not to do this or not to do that or not to do, think this or feel that or want to do this. Like, you do you. Like, that's kind of like his thing. Mm-hmm. And he, like, when Emma watches this Jake Paul, and because she watches Jake Paul, she liked Logan Paul. Thankfully, like, some guardian angel, I don't know, like, orchestrated it that she was not with me the weekend that this suicide forest thing was posted, because I watched it and I saw the body hanging, and I have seen quite a few dead bodies, so it wasn't very awkward for me. But to myself, I thought, like, oh my gosh, like, if my daughter saw this, how do I fix that? Like, I don't know how to erase that or how to have her not think about that.
Okay. How does somebody like that even, not like that, I mean somebody your daughter's age, because you said the age range.
It's 10 to 13.
How in the hell does somebody get in, I don't even know who the hell this person was.
Because Jake Logan and
I'm
Jake
on
and
YouTube
Logan
every day.
But people who watch Jake's videos watch Logan's videos, and people who watch Logan's videos watch Jake's videos. So it's very easy to feed into that.
I've never watched either one of them though. So why haven't I figured out about it in the last 10 years? I've never knew who either one of them were.
I guess I would
until a
probably
couple weeks
say because you don't watch Disney. I think if you watch Disney, did you unplug that or did that fucking cat do it?
He just unplugged it.
Do you want to know why the half of that garland doesn't work and this tree here doesn't work? Because of him.
The cat, like Christmas Vacation
Yep,
cat.
that's what I was expecting.
Exactly.
One of these days you're gonna hear a big
Yep.
and then you're
Life one down.
You're gonna be
Like we're on life two.
Yeah. You're gonna be carrying a chair outside with
the only thing I can
Randy
think of
Quaid.
is people who that don't have kids who watch Disney. They don't know who this guy is. Because if you watch Bizarre Bark, you know who Jake Paul is. Because of hi Bentley. Yes, hi Bentley. I see you. If you watch Bizarre Bark, hi Bentley. Bizarre Bark. And Jake on Bizarre Bark is the Dare guy. So people will go onto YouTube and check out this Dare guy, which is Jake Paul, which leads you to Logan Paul.
Okay.
But Jeffrey spoke out against Logan and just talked about the disrespect, and what he did is indefensible, which I agree with. Like, there is no reason that should have been posted. That is private. Even though you caught that and you recorded that, you had a chance, you edited that. So you came home and had time to think about it while it was being edited, and you still approved it.
Yeah.
There are some things that are just not okay to post.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I do not think the last minutes of someone's life is okay to post.
And even if you do think that it's okay,
Don't do it.
you have to accept the consequences of what everybody else thinks about you doing it.
And his
To me,
apology,
I just think it's a
poor
total
taste.
bunch of bullshit.
It's poor taste. It shouldn't have been done.
Poor
And-
taste for a lot of people, but I'm sure there's some people that got off on it.
Oh, I'm sure there are, and I'm sure, you know what? That's why it was posted.
Yeah.
Because there are people that will get off on it.
I
And
think that's hilarious.
whether
I
you
just
did
think
it
it's
for
cool.
views or
Shock value, whatever.
yeah, or whatever you did, it's still fucking wrong.
Yeah, I don't
And
necessarily.
you know, like, I mean, I remember, like, I was 15, and my best friend hung herself in her closet, and I came out of a Catholic grade school and a Catholic junior high, and I was a freshman at a public high school, and I was wondering my lab partner wasn't in class, and then I was scared to death because the teacher that I was most scared of pulls me out of class and sits me down on the floor in the hallway when he sits next to me, and he tells me that she hung herself. I had no idea what to believe.
Yeah.
My biology teacher carried me on his shoulders to my counselor's office because I had no idea how to handle that.
Yeah.
No idea. I didn't know what suicide was. I mean, I'm a product of a Catholic school. As far as the Catholic religion is concerned, if you take your own life, you go straight to hell. Like, there's no purgatory, there's no forgiveness, there's nothing. Like, boom, that's it. Because God gives you life, and because He gave you life, the only person who can take that life away is God. So if you take it yourself, then boom, you're condemned to hell. Now, since I have taught in a Catholic school, and I have actually read the Catholic Catechism book, that is not how it is. God still has the say. So, if you take your life, because by taking your life, you save the lives of hundreds of thousands of people, because you're a soldier or you're, I don't know, like a spy or something, and they catch you, and you take your life because you don't want to risk the danger of other things, you're condemned. Like, He doesn't consider that a sin. But until I die, I won't know the answer as to, like, gosh, my friend thought her life was over because this and this and this. I won't know if that's forgiven or not.
True.
Like, I mean, the catechism provides some answers, but it doesn't provide all the answers. And I'm not afraid. Like, I tried it once. And my dad, he drove me to the emergency room. He piled me into a wheelchair, and I saw my grandma, who passed away 10 years before that date. Apparently, it really wasn't my time, but, like, I still attempted. So do I go to hell, or am I forgiven? Like, I don't know. But what I do know is trying to post a video of somebody committing that act and succeeding is not right.
I see what you're saying.
It's just not right. And I had to tell my daughter, she wanted to know why she couldn't watch Jake anymore and why she couldn't watch Logan. And I told her because he posted this video and it was of something that is absolutely not okay. I can't really explain that any further than that, but it is not okay. He shouldn't have done it, and I don't support anybody that supports that video, which might make me a hypocrite. Kind of it does.
Yeah, well, maybe.
It does. Makes me a complete hypocrite.
Well, that doesn't 100% make it one way or the other.
Would you let your girls watch that? If you knew that they subscribed to that and you heard about it, would you let your kids watch it?
I don't know. I wouldn't, like, make them watch it.
What if they watched it? How would you handle
If they
that?
watched it, I would ask them what they thought about it. And just ask them questions and see what they thought about it. My girls are older than yours, though. So maybe that makes a difference, too. How old's your daughter?
She's 8.
My youngest is 12.
Do you think that they even know what that is? Have they lost anybody?
Yeah, I really don't think so. Your daughter hasn't either, though, right?
No. I mean, well, she's been to quite a bit of funerals, but
Well,
not anybody that she
So-
was like friends with.
yeah, so have my kids, but it's been like
Family
family,
or friends.
older people, family that have had cancer that shouldn't have died at the time they did.
Right.
And not that I can think of anybody that took their own life. I think they're at the age where I can talk to them about it. What do you think about that and why?
Do you give them an option though to think about like my parents? I was 15 years old when my best friend took her life, and my counselor, who I mean, ironically, she's like my older sister's best friend, but I mean that doesn't affect it. But she had to explain to me what that was. Like at 15 years old, I feel like I should have known.
Sure.
or at least like been aware of what that was. Do you think, as a parent, I mean, Emma's 8, so again, like you said, your kids are older. Do you think that you should tell your kids what that is?
I think it depends on how well, it depends on your kid, and I think it depends on how well you know your kid, and if you know they can handle talking about that. I think it's not a cut and dry subject. I think it's a case by case, child by child, parent by parent situation. And
That's a really good answer.
yeah, I mean, if you don't think your kid's gonna understand what the hell you're talking about, don't try to explain that shit to them.
Oh, it's Kelsey and Sean.
Got more guests.
Hi.
Hello.
Wait, is that the person you're first time saying that like you want to do a podcast with them?
No.
Oh, never mind. I have no idea who you are.
Hello.
Hello.
So, all in all, I hope that's a good answer to your question.
Hi, Sean.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you? We're
going?
video casting right now.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah,
That's Bentley.
Yeah.
Billy the
cat?
cat.
He's a lilac point Siamese. He's my baby.
Huh.
He's 13.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That's Bella.
I guess the other thing that I would wrap that question up with is
Nice to meet you. Saul.
Nice meeting you, Saul.
if you, and I heard Joe Rogan say this not too long ago, and everybody knows I'm a big fan of his, and I really listen to all his podcasts.
Yeah.
If you try to keep your kids from doing something forcefully, they're going to want to do it that much more. You have to know what I'm talking
I
about.
do know what you're talking about.
And that's absolutely true.
Because I was mad at my parents for a long time.
Yeah.
You know,
What are you guys up to now?
the one thing
My mom,
that
my sister have the kids, so.
I'm not mad at my parents about, and I never was, but I always just questioned, was like, they were my age once too,
It's a Vishala.
and to completely try to keep you under the hood and
I feel like they're
away
trying to
from
protect you.
yeah, protect
I
you
feel
and
like, I
away.
feel like it makes it worse.
It kind of, I always felt that too, because then that's where you kind of just got to become street smart, because you got to figure it out for yourself.
Like, I remember,
And you got to, man, you might fuck up a whole lot worse than if you knew that something existed and you
Yeah.
thought about it,
Oh yeah.
not expecting it to happen,
I'll
but
never forget.
thinking about for so many years or months or how long it took. And then when that situation did present itself, you're like, oh man, I gotta get the fuck out of here, because I've thought about that. If that happens, but if you're just all of a sudden into it for the first time, you're like, what the fuck is this?
Like,
Or you might not even think, what the fuck is this? You might think, yeah man, this is cool, and then you realize
it's not.
later, wow, I really fucked up, or I might have fucked up, or I
I-
dodged a bullet, thank God.
My parents came and picked me up from school that day. And I went home.
Oh yeah.
Twice a week I'll take him out.
And I didn't quite know what to say. And they told me to go lay down. They said, just go lay down.
Sheltered, I think is what we're looking for.
And then I had to go to my neighbor's house. And Maribel's obituary was in the paper. And my friend Rachel, her brother Larry, was here. And he was cutting it out. And I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And he's like, well, I thought that you know, maybe you would want this. And I guess, like, I should say, like, you know, Rachel and I have been in school together almost our whole lives, and so I know Larry, like, my whole life. And he was honestly just trying to do, like something nice, you know? Because I didn't know what that was. I didn't know what that was. And he said, like, is this like the first time? Like, somehow we got into talking about it, and we were sitting in their living room, and he said, like, oh, he's like you never talked about it, like you never, like no one ever talked about suicide, like I'm like, no, like nobody ever said anything about that to me. And that was probably like the first real conversation like I'd ever had in my life.
Mhm.
And I said to myself, I remember it, I said to myself, like, oh my gosh, if I ever have kids. You know, I was like 15. They're gonna know what this is. Because this team fucking sucks. I have a note from her that I have still not read to this day. To this day. And I just can't. I can't do it because I can't forgive her. But then I'm a hypocrite because I tried it, didn't succeed. Thankfully, I tried it. So I'm like right there with her. She just succeeded because she broke her neck. Like, I don't know. It's just frustrating me. And I'm like frustrated at the fact that like I have a kid. Like I have to raise a kid right now. Like in this world. And that sucks. Because it's not a fun place.
Not always. Definitely not.
That's why we have to
I
make.
definitely hear what you're saying.
Well, yeah. No,
Yes, we have to read.
10:30 a.m. and like right after dinner time is wet food time, so we're gonna be taking a lot of work.
Yeah.
Okay, we're back. We had to move to another room. More guests are coming over. We're going to have some fun tonight. But I felt like this was an important topic that we were on, and I really apologize. I'll try to edit this the best I can. I'm sorry if some of this got fucked up because of other voices in the room that we didn't intend on happening, but I think this is a really important subject, so I wanted to go to a more secluded area just to finish up because it's a very big subject, and if anybody is, experiencing anything like this, it is important to reach out and talk to somebody.
And we'll make sure we'll link the suicide prevention hotline number in the description box below. I'm a full believer that nothing is ever that bad or so terrible or unbelievable that there is no one on this earth that you cannot talk to. I will say, in my graduating high school class, I graduated in 1997, there was a suicide pact, and I buried over 10 friends in 4 years of high school. And after going through everything that I've gone through, which I will talk about on your friend Cindy's podcast.
She'll definitely be happy to have you for that.
That there is nothing in this world that is so big or so bad or so terrible that you cannot talk to someone. So there will be a link in the description box below with the suicide prevention hotline, and that is online. It's available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Doesn't matter if it's a holiday. Call that number. Even if you have a friend that you think is in danger, use that hotline. Use that resource, because it's not the answer. No matter what is going on, it is not the answer.
I agree. Nobody in my graduating class that I know of to this day have we had to deal with, but I know kids I knew from high school that did happen. There was a guy a couple years younger than me, and then there was a guy in my brother's class, and I know that really fucked him up for a long time. And yeah, I mean, they all wish they could have reached out or knew what was going on because they didn't know.
Yep.
And tried to help out the best they could, or just to do anything. I mean, I don't give a shit if it's your pastor or your local police department or a parent of somebody you trust, your goddamn librarian. Just if you know of somebody who's in that type of situation, try to reach out to them. Or especially if you're somebody who has those feelings, reach out to anyone you trust. Or anybody you don't know. Anybody at all. They can they will.
Here's the thing.
They will
is
make
that
something happen.
you never know You never know the battles that someone else is facing.
Absolutely.
Like, you know, you don't know what the weight other people carry on their shoulders is. And that's where I tell my daughter this all the time. I tell her, don't you ever judge someone because you do not know the battles that they are facing. Like you don't know what they have waiting for them at home. You know, maybe they have a mom who doesn't put food on the table, or maybe they have parents that fight all the time, or maybe they don't even have a home to go to. Like, you don't know what other people are fighting. But the most important thing is to know that there are resources for that.
Yes.
Maybe, you know, you're the only person that somebody talks to about how bad their life is, and you can't help them. That's what, like, the suicide prevention hotline is there for. That's what these you know, outreach hotlines are there for, because they're trained. They know how to intercept these situations. They know what to say. Or they know how to help somebody step back from that ledge. And the most important thing is that whenever you meet somebody or you see someone on the street, it is not your right to judge them. It is not your right to throw stones at them, because you do not know what they are facing.
Right.
And I think to myself, like, oh my gosh, like I was very close to a lot of the friends that I lost, but one of them was in my homeroom. Sodrick Jones, bless his soul. He was in my homeroom, and I saw him every day for 3 years. And then he just was gone. And nobody knew anything was going on. So I just think it's important to pay attention to everything that your friends say, or to pay attention to what you hear, even if it's like underground, or how they text, or how they are online, or if they're apathetic and they don't care and they just would rather not be involved. Like, pay attention to those things, because in some ways that's how they reach out.
Yeah. And I think, man, in a weird way, I guess you can kind of sum this up by just the title of my podcast, Ordinary People Helping Ordinary People. Celebrity rehab bullshit, I don't know. Maybe it worked, maybe it didn't.
How many times have you read the story of, you know, you get off the bus and there's a kid ahead of you and he's carrying all his books, or he's carrying a bunch of shit and he drops it, and you know, you help him pick it up, and then you guys become really good friends. And you know, this happened to me.
It's okay.
Or 15 years later, they're getting married, and they give a speech, and they talk about this day that they were walking home from school, and they dropped their lunchbox, and you stopped. And you picked it up, and you said, "Hi, I'm so-and-so. Like, I've seen you. You know, she was actually in my twin sister's class."
Okay.
And she was going home, and she was going to swallow a bottle of pills. But she didn't, because I asked her to go to my house.
Save a life.
And she's still my friend today.
That's awesome.
And she has 2 little boys, and she's wonderful. She's probably one of
besides Noelle, probably one of the best girlfriends that I have. You just never know. Like, you don't know how you're gonna affect someone.
Yeah, and I guess the other thing I would add to that is, by doing something nice for somebody else like that, you might not even know that you affected them in that way to where they might have changed their life. They might have changed their life or made a decision to not do something or to do something that made their life better. You might not even know. I don't know if I've ever affected somebody in that way, but I hope so. If it came to it, you know.
We were 11 years old.
You know that you've done something like that for somebody.
We were
That's
11.
Awesome. That's very touching.
We were 39 years old, and we were 11.
Very deep.
That's, what, 28 years? So she's lived 28 years longer than she planned on. Because of me. And she saved me too. Like, I don't want to take, like, the credit just, like, for her life. But, I mean, she has saved me in ways that I will never, ever be able to repay her. But I will tell you that you just never know. Yeah. And no one has the right to ever cast stones at anybody. Like, you just never know who you're meeting on the street. Like, you cannot judge people. You can't judge people by what you see. Like, because you don't know what they're facing. You don't know their battles.
Hell no.
And it's just... And I feel... I mean, and I'm not the only one that is just, like, upset and on edge about this whole issue, because I have seen the video that Logan Paul did, but, I mean, it's a hotbed issue anywhere.
Sure.
But, like...
Fucking anything's a hotbed issue anymore. But you gotta filter out the bullshit from what really matters. I mean, not to change the subject too much, but this whole goddamn Trump thing, look, I didn't vote for the fucker. And I didn't vote for Hillary Clinton either, because I don't like fucking either one of them, really. But the one thing I really thought about was, it's not so much what he says, it's the fact that he says it in front of so many untrustworthy people. He says it in front of so many untrustworthy people that he could say the greatest thing or the worst thing,
and
it doesn't fucking matter at that point. I'm not defending Trump, I'm not...
You're not attacking
calling him out.
either.
I'm just saying what it is what it is.
The sad thing is, though, whether it was him or it was Hillary, I mean, it would be the same. It would be the same climate.
Yeah, and I don't want to get into a whole goddamn political discussion because I hate that bullshit.
Oh, I know.
I voted for Gary Johnson, and he fucking completely set the Libertarian Party back.
I voted for myself for president.
Yeah, he completely...
But that is not a job I want. I will take the president of my own company, and I'll just live with it at that point. It's not a fucking
job that any one person should have.
It isn't.
Because it's viewed as a king on a crown or a queen on a crown or some shit like that now. And that's exactly what we moved here from England a long time ago.
Everybody came here to escape that. And now
we treat it like it's that again. And it's
they say we're a democracy, but, I mean... I just don't know.
That's my 2 cents on that. Anybody, and stealing another line from Joe Rogan, anybody who wants to be president probably shouldn't be president. Probably shouldn't be president. Probably shouldn't. But
what is that show on ABC where, like, this kid, like, Joe Gasly, like, pretended to want to be mayor, and then he was fucking elected mayor, and he's, like,
I heard about
21.
Yeah, I don't remember.
And I thought to myself, like, how funny would that be? If there was somebody that just was just riding the wave. Riding the wave, social media wave.
You kind of are experiencing that right now with the presidency. A game show host is our president right now.
Yeah, but Omarosa left the White House, so what does that say?
Who fucking knows?
Who gets to tell Trump he's fired?
Fire himself for all I give a fuck.
You know what? He probably will.
It wouldn't surprise me if he just gives up and says, fuck all y'all.
Fuck you. Like, I try to help you, but you're not
and that'd
listening.
be the one time he really would come out in front of everybody and tell them to their face and just walk off in a It's fucking right off in the sunset. Be like, figure it out now, fuckers.
What's that place in Florida that he always goes to? Starts with an M. He spent Christmas there.
We're in too deep for me to figure that shit out. Miami.
No, it's not
That
Miami.
starts with an M. Come on.
Maybe it's like uber rich people in
Martial
Miami.
law.
You have to like have the U with the double dots on top of it.
You
to,
just
like,
said the U.
the double dotted U, like Uber. I don't know.
Doesn't matter. We'll never be there.
Nope. But I'm happy in my little corner. I like my corner.
Me too.
I got good friends.
I will say this also, and this is the last goddamn political thing either one of us are going to say in this podcast. There are two types of people in this country, world, state, city, whatever. People who want to be left the fuck alone, and people who will not leave you the fuck alone.
Yes, sir.
Let's close it.
Yes.
Love you.
I love you too.
Thank you so much for that, and I hope that we do some people some good.
I hope so
they
too.
enjoy this.
Again, check the description bar below.
That's right.
We will put that National Suicide Prevention Hotline number in there for you.
Damn right.
And please don't be afraid to use it. It is there for a reason.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.